Radical and repugnant Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she was attacked at a restaurant. She tweeted, quote, "I was attacked in a restaurant tonight by an insane woman and screamed at by her adult son. They had no respect for the restaurant or the staff or the other people dining or people like me who simply have different political views. They are self-righteous, insane, and completely out of control. I was sitting at my table working with my staff and never even noticed these people until they turned into demons. People used to respect others even if they had different views, but not anymore. Our country is gone." Now, there's a couple things here that I think are important to say. First of all, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a horrible hypocrite. Here is video of her harassing David Hogg about his activism out on the street.
Yeah. David, why are you supporting the red flag laws? If Scott Peterson, the resource officer at Parkland, had done his job, then Nicholas Cruz wouldn't have killed anybody in your high school, or at least protected them. Why are you supporting red flag gun laws that attack our Second Amendment rights?
Right. So remember, someone harassed me out in public, which I've also done to people.
Why are you using kids as a barrier? Do you not know how to defend your stance? Look, I'm an American citizen. I'm a gun owner. I have a concealed carry permit. I carry a gun for protection for myself, and you are using your lobby and the money behind it and the kids to try to take away my Second Amendment rights. You don't have anything to say for yourself?
All right, you get the picture. So she's a complete hypocrite. Nobody's allowed to confront her, but she's allowed to confront other people, and it's the same thing as always. I do think there is like a serious discussion about the entire confronting people in public thing. Now, this has happened to me. Many of you will remember about a year and a half ago, I was confronted at a restaurant, at an outdoor seating terrace, I guess you would call it, patio, at a restaurant where a young woman saw me, and I could kind of tell from across the room that she recognized me. And then as I was leaving, I get onto the sidewalk, and at that point she yells, "David Pakman, you Zionist Jew bastard." And I ignored it and just walked away. I mean, I'm aware of it, obviously, because I told the story, but I didn't engage with it in any way. Now, had she done it while I was still dining and having my beautiful fish and chips, which I had at that restaurant, what would I have done? I probably still would have ignored her, but I do think that if you're at a restaurant and you're actively harassing a patron, it would be completely reasonable for the restaurant to say, you can't behave that way or you've got to leave, right? So if in this situation where Marjorie Taylor Greene was harassed, she says attacked, but doesn't make any indication that there was anything physical that happened, but she was harassed is what we could say. It would be perfectly reasonable for the restaurant to say, hey, you can't yell in here and you can't harass people. So you either got to shut up or you've got to leave. Totally, perfectly reasonable. When it comes to the difficulty every time we talk about this is when it comes to elected officials who earn salaries paid by the taxpayers and who choose to evade accountability of a certain type, right? You can get to a point where in your head you say, the only way to confront some of these people might be by doing something like this. Now, again, I'm not saying I like this approach or that I am necessarily against it. I think it's a difficult and complicated thing. It's come up when we talk about protesting outside the homes of senators or Supreme Court justices, and there's sort of like the legal question, but there's also the moral and ethical thing. And I'm just not completely sure. I think there is some gray area. But specifically when we're talking about elected officials whose salaries are paid by taxpayers, I understand that if they make the decision that they are going to hide from any kind of public accountability, you can end up in a situation where you say, there's no way to even get my point across to this elected official whose salary I pay with my taxes other than going up to them in public. Now, going up to them in public and screaming insults, if that's what happened, not particularly productive or effective. So let me know your thoughts about this. But the term attacked that Marjorie Taylor Greene is using, at least by everything I've read, appears to be a bit of an exaggeration. One of our sponsors is Helix Sleep. I have been sleeping on a Helix mattress at home for years now. I couldn't be more happy with it. I recommend it to everybody. The other day, even though she's not allowed in the big bed, I put my baby daughter on the mattress and even she loved it. Helix Sleep is the premium mattress brand offering tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences. Take the Helix Sleep Quiz. It asks you about your body type, your sleeping position. Do you get hot at night? Do you have back pain? And then Helix will match you with the mattress that's perfect for you. Most people don't know where to begin when shopping for a mattress, including me. Helix makes it simple and less risky because you know you're getting a mattress that fits your needs. It ships free. You can try it for 100 nights to see if you like it, and it comes with a 10 or 15-year warranty. Unlike many mattress companies, all Helix mattresses are made in the USA by a skilled production team, so you are supporting good jobs. Helix Sleep is giving my audience up to 20% off plus 2 free pillows. What other mattress company is going to give you 20% off? Go to helixsleep.com/Pacman. The link is down below.